talking about Charlie Kirk. We're back to it. We're taking our country back from these cockroaches. That's what Charlie Kirk said about deploying the military on U.S. soil. And in 2023, Kirk told his audience that the then President Joe Biden was a corrupt tyrant who should be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. What are we to make of a man who called for the execution of the American president and then was executed himself? What are we to make of an NFL that once, on one hand, encourages us to end racism and on the other urges us to commemorate an unreconstructed white supremacist? And what of the writers, the thinkers, the pundits who cannot separate the great crime of Kirk's death from the malignancy of his public life? Can they truly be so ignorant of the words of a man they have so rushed to memorialize? I don't know. But the most telling detail in Klein's column was that, for all his praise, there was not a single word in the piece from Kirk himself. That is by design, by the way. Okay? That's the whole point. Because if Ezra Klein, who is the most esteemed liberal, would utter a simple, one singular word from Charlie Kirk, it would give the game away that his progressive bona fides is just nothing. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's also part of the reason why none of the people that are highlighting Charlie Kirk are talking about the shit that he fucking said. Ryan Grimm doesn't see it that way. Yeah, well, I'm disagreeing with Ryan Grimm on this, okay? I love Ryan, but it's okay. We can have healthy disagreement. I think Hassan and H3 issues should make up and just grift together again. A guy who doesn't understand anything about politics and thinks, I'm just simply saying words without ever thinking about it, with no meaning behind it whatsoever. More than a century and a half ago, this country ignored the explicit words of men who sought to raise an empire of slavery. It subsequently transformed those men into gallant knights who sought only to preserve their beloved Camelot. There was a fatigue in certain quarters with Reconstruction, which is to say multiracial democracy, and a desire for a reunion to make America great again. Thus, in the late 19th century and much of the 20th, this country's most storied intellectuals transfigured hate mongers into heroes and ignored their words, just as, right now, some are ignoring Kirk's. Words are not violence, nor are they powerless. Burying the truth of the Confederacy, rewriting its aims and ideas, and ignoring its animating words allowed for the terrorization of the black population, the imposition of apartheid, and the destruction of democracy. The rewriting and ignoring were done not just by Confederates, but also by putative allies for whom the reduction of black people to serfdom was the unfortunate price of white unity. Oof. On fire. The paper is on fire. The import of this history has never been clearer than in this moment, when the hard question must be asked: if you would look away from the words of Charlie Kirk, from what else would you look away? God damn, dude. God fucking damn it. I said something that is nowhere near as poetic about the Ezra Klein piece, which was, and I'm fully in agreement with Ta-Nehisi here, which is that Ezra Klein, at worst, likes and subscribes to Charlie Kirk's worldview, or at best, does not think it's so bad that it needs its own analysis or it needs to be mentioned even a little bit. And not to get like the friend who's too woke here, but I do think that there is a tinge of, if not white supremacy, a tinge of, I guess, privilege there, where you just don't think that this is a real issue at all. Apathy. White apathy, maybe. That's it. You do know that Ezra Klein is Jewish, right? Okay. So, do you think this impacts him in the same way that it does a black person or a brown person? He clearly doesn't seem to think so. What are we doing here? Are we relitigating this thing over and over again? I think it's well established what my position is on this. I was joking, sorry. Oh, okay. I thought you were being serious. Even if others might not think he's white because of his Jewish background, there's definitely some who don't. He seems to think that that doesn't matter. It's more so about the fact that this person is, one, not as well known or as beloved or as hated a figure as Charlie Kirk, but also like the only thing that person's job status is known as is denying people health care that they paid for, by the way. I know, I saw the butt fell clip.
Four-letter word in Democratic primaries, not among Democratic voters. It's a five-letter word in the minds of a lot of Democrats, that five-letter word being great. Look at this, net popularity of socialism among Democrats. You go back to 2010, it was plus 7 points. Look how high it is now, up like a rocket, up to plus 36 points. That's a jump of nearly 30 points on the net popularity scale among Democrats in just 15 years. And I was looking at the...
Let's go, boys. We did it. We did it. We're doing it. Holy Toledo.
Polling from New York City, and what you see is the clear plurality of New York City Democrats think the idea of having a socialist mayor is a good idea, matching what we see nationally. The bottom line is socialism isn't a dirty word among Democrats at this particular point. It's actually a word that, when attached, Democrats seem to like it.
That's a huge jump, and that's not that long ago, let me add.
No.
What about capitalism?
Yeah, okay, so if all of a sudden socialism is now a five-letter word, great. What I would say is capitalism in the mind of Democrats is a three-letter word, bad. What are we talking about? Net popularity of socialism among Democrats. Look at this trend. It was plus 8 points in 2010.
The very fact that Americans are arriving at this conclusion on their own shows how devastating the material conditions have become, how deteriorated the day-to-day existence is for many Americans. Okay? Because it's not like the entire system is designed to prop up capitalism and make you fearful of alternatives, specifically socialism. So you have to be bludgeoned in the fucking head with how bad capitalism actually is for you to go, maybe this other thing isn't that bad. Maybe people are just fucking lying to me.
The positive side of the ledger, look at where we are in 2025. Down, falling through the floor at minus 13 points. That's a drop of over 20 points in just 15 years. So we see the exact...
You said this exact same thing to Ro Khanna. Cowardly government backs defund police and anti-Semitic socialist Mamdani for mayor, Comrade Kathy. This is why it's insane for Democrats to think that they have to overcorrect to be as moderate as possible to avoid Republicans labeling them as communist. Kathy Hochul is about as far away from being a communist as anyone could be, and here we are anyway. Yeah. They're going to call you a communist regardless. Just push for good policies that help the population, please. Oh. This is the judge's reasoning for dropping Luigi Mangioni's charge down to only second-degree murder. Absolute insanity. Our judicial system is completely cooked. Bragg's office argued that Mangione should be considered a terrorist because he meant to kill Thompson to intimidate or coerce the civilian population, a claim that the judge rejected Tuesday. The defendant's apparent objective, as stated in his writings, was not to threaten, intimidate, or coerce, but rather to draw attention to what he perceived as the greed of the insurance industry. That's crazy that the judge... made that assessment. So Bragg overcharged. That's what happened here. I mean, I think it was. But regardless, I just didn't think that a judge would make that assessment. I thought it would go along with it because it has been very heavy-handed.
Opposite trend that we see at socialism, which is up and away. What we see with capitalism is down, down, down through the floor.
Okay, we're talking about Democrats here. What about if you look at the larger population, Harry? Is it the same type of thing?
This is where the danger is for Democrats, because if socialism plays in Democratic primaries, it does not play in the general electorate. What do we see going on here? Net popularity among all adults. Capitalism is on the positive side of the ledger at plus 12 points. Socialism way, way, way underwater at minus 18 points. So that's capitalism running away by 30 points over socialism. That is why Republicans are thanking their lucky stars if Mamdani, in fact, wins the general election, because they feel like they can play off of him, because socialism may play in New York City among Democrats, but among the general electorate.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Soon, brothers. Inshallah, soon. Okay? Because if that was the case, Republicans be pumping Mamdani, be like, oh, he's the best. Okay? He's the fucking best, right? Since it's going to really, hurt the Democrat Party's chances, right?
Donald Trump and the Republicans are saying, hey, look at the socialist mayor in New York City. This is what we're dealing with. So again, something may play in Democratic primaries. It may play in the very Democratic city of New York. But among the general electorate, Republicans are salivating at the idea that they can run against a Democratic socialist being the mayor.
Be more popular than the Democratic Party in general. That's it. And by that, I don't mean refusing to call it what Israel's doing a genocide, okay? An anti-Zionist version of Bernie Sanders. Motherfuckers that exist under capitalism not working and experiencing how bad it's not working still turn around and say, socialism will not work. Okay. Is capitalism working for you? No. Why the fuck are you defending it? Do you think it'll be banned? I don't know, man. Maybe I'll go to jail. Who knows? Why is it that every other week we have to relitigate whatever some new manufactured outrage that's coming from the fucking right and calls for deplatforming? Do we have to do this every week? Do we have to do this every week? Every week, man. Some of the worst scumbags on the internet are mad at you and are demanding that you get deplatformed. Okay.
Broke it all down for us.
Huge number of voters say that they feel that the city is unaffordable.
Wait, I'm sorry. U.S. housing market has reached its most unaffordable level in history. Wait, what? I mean, it's working though, right? It's working. Capitalism is working. It's working. It's working so good. On Monday, Cuomo said he had been interested in making an argument about ICC jurisdiction, not about the merits of claims that Netanyahu has committed war crimes. He rejected the idea that he had allied himself with the Israeli leader. I never stood with Bibi, he said. Oh my God.
The Prime Minister against the arrest warrant at the ICC.
Oh, hell yeah. Cook 'em. That's awesome. Andrew Cuomo is trying to back up from the Israel stuff. What happened? What happened? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Pocketbook issues that have helped propel Zoran Mamdani to a sizable lead in the mayor's race. The CBS News New York poll has Mamdani at 43, Andrew Cuomo at 28.
Yes. Yes, Cuomo, staunch supporter of Israel, says horrific Gaza war must end. The remarks were a departure from former Governor Andrew M. Cuomo, who trails Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani in the New York City's mayoral race. Jenny Flecht. Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm going to ask as a Cuban, how do I get over the feeling that I have no place to tell people who grew up in places like Cuba that communism isn't all bad? I've obviously learned the truth in school myself, but I've just always felt like a spoiled American kid telling people who have suffered enough through it that they're basically wrong. I just hate the blind loyalty and trust my people have in and his admin. Yeah, I don't think Cuba is suffering or continues to suffer because of communism. I mean, just ask them, do you think China is suffering? You know? Cuba is suffering because of the American blockade. And if they say, but China isn't communism, then follow up by saying, okay, can we do some Chinese style not communism here then? That's what I want. I want Chinese style not communism as opposed to the American style capitalism. I would like the not communism of the Communist Party of China. Sure. Hit him with that afterwards.
Curtis Sliwa, 15, and Eric Adams at 6.
They would say it's authoritarianism, and that's bad. Saying that in the United States of America right now is the funniest moment to say it. Yeah. Okay. I will repeat one more time. It seems to me as though we have the authoritarianism that we think China has, that we ascribe to China, without any of the benefits of the Chinese style not communism that they certainly don't have.
The cost of living is the number one issue for them in this race. And what happens when they say the cost of living is their top issue? Well, Mamdani has a substantial lead over Cuomo among voters who rank that number one.
But there are other reasons why Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, was able to come out of nowhere and take over the race.
The thing that is propelling Mamdani right now in terms of what voters are looking for in a candidate, bring needed change. This is one I really highlight because 2/3 of voters say that's what they want in the next mayor.
The question for the other candidates, is there any way to catch up while the race is counting down?
There's no way for a multi-candidate field to catch up with Zohran Mamdani.
Kean University Provost David Birdsell says Mamdani picked the most important issue to voters, affordability.
This is very good news for Zohran Mamdani. Clearly, when other folks were more prominently featuring.
What? Another great take on Ezra Klein's whitewashing.
When Ezra Klein.
Bro, that's 7 minutes long. I'm sorry. That's a 7-minute TikTok. That's crazy. But yeah, Ezra also then turned around and had a conversation with Ben Shapiro as well. Let's get to Luigi Mangione, alleged shooter of Brian Thompson, UAC Healthcare CEO. New updates on the Luigi Mangione court case where the 2 counts of terrorism have been dismissed.
Luigi Mangione in court today for a hearing in his state case, where Mangione pleaded not guilty to 11 charges and a judge dismissed 2 terrorism charges. Alice Gaynor was in the courtroom and joins us with more. Alice.
Yeah, the defense filed a motion to dismiss those 2 terrorism-related charges, and they got it. But they also filed a motion to dismiss the other charges, and that was denied. Luigi Mangione entered the courtroom shackled in tan prison clothing, looked once at the public row, then stared straight forward as he walked in. The 27-year-old is accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a Midtown street last December. On Tuesday, the judge dismissed counts 1 and 2, charging him with murder in the first degree in furtherance of an act of terrorism and murder in the second degree as a crime of terrorism, because the judge said they were legally insufficient. But the judge said prosecutors presented legally sufficient evidence of all other counts, including murder in the second degree, so the motion to dismiss entirely was denied. The Manhattan DA's office released a statement that reads, quote, "We respect the court's decision and will proceed on the remaining 9 counts, including murder in the second degree." The defense had also argued concurrent state and federal prosecutions violate the double jeopardy clause, that testifying in the state case may prejudice Mangione during his federal death penalty trial. The judge denied the defense's motion to stay the proceedings pending the resolution of the federal case. Hearings have also been ordered to determine whether statements Mangione made to police and physical evidence obtained are allowed and whether a non-witness can testify. Outside the courthouse, supporters gathered carrying signs and chanting. They also followed his attorneys down the street when they left court. If convicted on the top count and carries a penalty of 25 years to life in prison, those hearings will begin December 1st. Outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, Alice Gaynor, CBS News, New York.
Luigi supporters react to dismissal of terrorism charges outside a New York City courthouse.
United! We'll never be defeated! The people united! We'll never be defeated! The people united! We'll never be defeated!
Judge Castro! This is the terrorism charge! The terrorism charge!
Oh, okay.
Because it was
Say it louder! Say it louder!
the
terrorism charge is dropped! They dropped the terrorism charge!
The Democratic governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, has endorsed the candidate for mayor here in New York who won the Democratic primary, Zohran Mamdani. Other Democratic officials have not. Mamdani calls himself a Democratic socialist, which, of course, is something that Bernie Sanders in Vermont is as well. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman here from New York. What about that word socialism? How does it play in the polls? One man knows the answer. CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. Hello, sir.
Hello.
We're talking about socialism and we're talking about Democrats.
Yeah, okay. You know, I'm not really surprised that Kathy Hochul decided to, in fact, endorse Zohran Mamdani, because the fact is...
Law tip just got here, so I don't know what's been covered, but it's wild that the argument worked. Indictment sufficiency arguments 99.9% of the time get shot down. Good work from the defense here. Yeah, she bent the knee, bro. That's true. She did.
Socialism is not a force.
Why do you think more people openly support him as the Kirk shooter? Is it mainly the public setting, or is Thompson more of an acceptable death? Because Brian Thompson is an unknown figure, and the only relevance in the eyes of the public was that he was the CEO of an incredibly corrupt private healthcare. Like, he was seen as a representative of the paywalling of healthcare, a denial of care, a denial of sufficient coverage for so many people. Like, the social murder that is otherwise normalized but still so deeply felt by Americans is very real. Whereas Charlie Kirk was a polarizing figure, but was beloved by at least like one side of the political spectrum. Greg Gutfeld argued that the Minnesota assassinations don't count as right-wing terrorism because nobody knows or cares who the victims were. No, there's a difference, right? As in, one is a Democrat legislator. It's not that it's like an unknown figure. It's obviously, if Brian Thompson was a Republican politician, for example, in the aftermath of his assassination, people would still not feel the same way as they did about Brian Thompson, the UHC healthcare CEO. You see what I mean? It's not even about like whether the victims are known or popular or not. It's more so about what happened. He's back to crying about me again. Nice, dude. Oh, there's nothing you can do, man. In this day and age, there is literally nothing you can do. If you got like a rich asshole who is genuinely obsessed. If you got a rich asshole who's genuinely obsessed, there's actually nothing you can do about it. They will just like consistently hound you. Okay? I own an LCO. We in the community want peace. It's just crazy. You have a dude's baby mama on the stream one time and she fucking says, "Why are you so buff? Is it necessary?" And then he just makes it his fucking life's mission. It's one time, bro. Let it go. Let it fucking go. Jesus Christ, dude. Is there nothing you can do because you're not rich enough or because you're not asshole enough? It's both, but also, the fuck can I do to Elon Musk? What are you talking about? Puerto Rican vegan socialist says you weren't even in your best shape. Didn't you tell liberals to gut and shank their opponents? How is that not inciting violence? That was crazy. No, I didn't, actually. I was utilizing a metaphor when talking about liberals becoming more cutthroat when they're debating their opposition. It wasn't meant to be taken literal. And if you were to actually watch the full video, you would understand that. Ah, got it. There you go. You hurt him in a way that money can never fix. I know. Speaking of your ops, I don't even understand what this means. This person said, collect my 8 rape pages. You have no idea what you've created. And I don't know what that means, but it went viral. But also, why is he posting this? Slender Man reference? I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what Slender Man is, but I don't know the references. Anyway, let's continue. He's anything but slender. All right. It's a game where you collect 8 pages. Oh. Okay. That's good to know. All right. Charlie Kirk. Ta-Nehisi Coates. Still them all. I hate blacks. End of story. One of the group's advisors, Rip McIntosh, once published a newsletter featuring an essay from a pseudonymous writer that said blacks had become socially incompatible with other races and that black culture was unfixable and a crime-ridden mess. In 2022, after 3 black football players were killed at another college, Meg Miller... What is this? Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting a message from fucking Marchie Poo. What the hell? What the hell is this? Okay. Was unfixable and a crime-ridden mess. In 2022, after 3 black football players were killed in another college, Meg Miller, president of Turning Point chapter at the University of Missouri, joked, in air quotes, in a social media message, if they would have killed 4 more N-words with a hard R, for those of you who are listening at home and not reading along, we would have had the whole week off. Kirk subscribed to some of the most disreputable and harmful beliefs that this country has ever known, but it is still chilling to think that those beliefs would be silenced by a gunshot. The tragedy is personal. Kirk was robbed of his life, and his children and family will forever live with the knowledge that a visual record of that robbery is just an internet search away. And the tragedy is national. Political violence ends conversation and invites war. Its rejection is paramount to a functioning democracy and a free society. Amazing words. I fully agree with everything he's saying. Political violence is a virus, Klein noted. This assertion is true. It is also at odds with Kirk's own words. It's not that Kirk merely, as Klein put it, defended the Second Amendment. It's that Kirk endorsed hurting people to advance his preferred policy outcomes. God damn, Ta-Nehisi Coates does not even let up for a brief moment in this entire fucking article. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. In 2022, when Kirk was frustrated, for instance, by the presence of Leah Thomas on the University of Pennsylvania's women's swim team, Kirk did not call for spirited discourse. Instead, while discussing a recent championship tournament, he said he would have liked to have seen a group of fathers descend from the stands, forming a line in front of Leah Thomas and saying, "Hey, tough guy, you want to get in the pool? Because you're going to have to come through us." Mere weeks before his death, Kirk reveled in Trump's deployment of federal troops to D.C. Shock and awe. Force, he wrote. "We're taking our country back from these cockroaches." People found your OG debate with Charlie Kirk? Yeah, I saw a couple of those.
Do you not want them to protest? Like, why are you trying to always take away their right to protest? It's so hypocritical. Do you not want them to protest? Like, why are you trying to always take away their right to protest? It's so hypocritical.
You can peacefully protest. How is that hypocritical?
Colin Kaepernick peacefully protested, took a knee. How is he doing that? You can't do that. Then if they protest on the streets, it's not acceptable. If they protest peacefully, it's not acceptable. It seems like you just don't want them to protest, because I didn't hear you yelling at Tea Party people when they were burning Obama. Do you think people have a right to protest? Or do you think people are just... Do you think people have a right to protest? 100%. Or do you think people should only protest when it's things that you're in favor of?
No, I'm okay with this protesting. Here's the difference.
It doesn't seem like it.
So when you start interrupting a speaker and pulling the fire alarm and throwing objects, isn't that something wrong with that? That's entirely...
It's funny, but yeah, there is something wrong with that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You're making a straw man argument about something. I believe that everyone has a right to protest peacefully however they see fit. You're creating this...
As long as they're not Colin Kaepernick.
No, you could say whatever.
As long as they're not the 30 students at Notre Dame who protested Michael.
That's why it kind of pisses me off when people are like, "Oh, Charlie Kirk would cook you." Bitch, I've already debated his ass twice. Why did your voice sound so high-pitched before? I don't know. I was a certified Hasanabi head by then. I remember this. They played this on C-SPAN the other day, and my family was locked in and impressed with your response. It was cool to see on TV. Were you a Obama head? No. I was wearing the Obama shirt there. Ironically, of course, but I mean, that's not going to stop me from using the classic, like, burning the Obama effigy at a Tea Party protest. The jank moment is also the jank moment, the "I live like a capitalist every day" jank. Like, that's from my second debate with him. I do still have the Obama shirt, yes. Obviously, you cooked them, but even in that clip, debates just seem cringe. I agree. Let's look at the comments. 3 days ago. Repost. This is why he never debated at all. He was tired of losing every damn debate. The reason why he only liked to debate college students. Kirk lost all his debates. Charlie is literally saying he's good with protesting the whole video. Dude wasn't even letting Kirk talk, fill in the space with words because he only knew how to say two things. He never answers the questions. He just changed the subject, make conversation. Was really curious to see how the rest of the clip went. This really showed nothing, honestly. Kirk wiped the floor with Hassan in this debate. When the crowd isn't biased towards Kirk, it doesn't sound like he's winning. By the way, back then, he was infinitely more moderate, just so you understand. He was still incredibly right-wing, but in comparison to who he became, in comparison to what his advocacy looked like by the end of his career, I promise you, he he straight up, he was the type of guy who would be like, I don't like Black Lives Matter. He told me in private correspondence, one of the last conversations that we had in private, because I look back at it, was when he told me that while he was not pro BLM, the comparison between Black Lives Matter and KKK was completely inappropriate. Okay? That's what he was pushing for back then. He literally was saying, he straight up was saying, like, people that actually compare the KKK to Black Lives Matter are fucked up because the KKK is an evil institution. You understand? Think about how much his opinion, or at least his output, changed. His output shifted. Yeah, he used to be a Milton Friedman ANCAP truther. That's all he did. Wait, so he was woke? That's not woke, man. He was anti-BLM still. Point is, it doesn't matter. He just...
James is 0 for 4.
Okay, stop. I know. I've seen those clips. How likely was it that he was grifting? Of course he was grifting, man. That's it. I don't think you guys understand. Of course he was fucking grifting. What are you talking about? He is a regime propagandist. He was a regime propagandist. Do you understand? This is the new meta on TikTok on Kirk. Yeah, this is what I've been seeing a lot. Y'all hated Charlie Kirk so much. Congrats. Now look at who you've awakened. I think these people are such fucking hot dog fingered losers, bro. Oh my God. These people are basically potato. Like, oh no, what will we do? We have awakened the pedophile Nazi Milo Yiannopoulos. Oh no. Like, they're just so stupid. Like, what do you mean? Oh God, I can't believe it. Another pedophile neo-Nazi? What are we gonna do? Yeah, why did he retire? Do you recall? He didn't. He was forced to retire. Not because he was a neo-Nazi, but because he was a pedophile. It's so dumb. It's okay, he's Christian now. No, I know. Oh, also, the other one is Sam Hyde. That's the other thing that they keep talking about. They're like, oh, you made Sam Hyde cry. Which, by the way, that's my favorite. Motherfuckers who are like, I can't believe these guys want to do political violence. The left is so violent. Okay, motherfucker. Sam Hyde is literally, again, another pedophile neo-Nazi. And his claim to fame for the last, 3 fucking years is literally talking about how he's going to murder me, which is, not going to happen, most likely. Okay, let's be real. He would have to go over you'd have to go up a couple fucking stairs and most likely pass away in the process. But I don't understand why these people volunteer this information. You know what I mean? Why the fuck do they volunteer this information where they're just like, this is the guy. This is our champion. This is our fucking champion. Another pedophile neo-Nazi. What? She works at Cracker Barrel? I don't care if you think the rebrand is stupid. This is how I make money. Please don't boycott Cracker Barrel. I promise that wasn't my choice. But yeah, I have seen so many dumb fucks on my For You page as of late.
Hey, liberals.
So many incredibly stupid fucking people. I told you guys about the one like black lady, like Gen Z, who was like a massive Nick Fuentes fan. I just don't understand it, but you know, have fun, I guess. I mean, he thinks you are genetically inferior, but if you want to get your commentary from that guy, have fun. Like, how the fuck does that happen? I don't know. I mean, but I guess he is a white supremacist neo-Nazi, but he's Hispanic. So stranger things have happened. Anyway. What is this? Can you match this drip? Cash money, baby. I saw her clips about you yesterday. The comments hurt my brain. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. There is literally nothing you can do for a person like that. Okay? If there is a person out there, my homie's a Fuentes fanboy and I'm sick of it, Lamau. No, I'm just saying, like, if there's a person out there who is literally subscribing to a dude who thinks they are genetically inferior, who has likened a white person and a black person having sex to bestiality, and you're like, that's my guy as a black person, there's no saving you. You're gone. You're a fucking idiot. You're just mad because your merch doesn't go that hard? Yeah. That's true. You seem totally unbothered that Elon has been trying to come for you. It feels so disturbing to me given his influence regarding his calls to the platform. What am I supposed to do, man? What am I supposed to do? I can't do anything. Whatever. He's the fucking wealthiest dude on the planet. Hey, Hassan, how is it exactly the great replacement theory gained popularity compared to 10 years ago? Do you see that in the future of our administration could actually enact on it in Europe? How did this become allowed in discourse? Why does Charlie Kirk think Jews are doing great replacement? It's not just Charlie Kirk. Tucker Carlson also says that. And they don't always say Jews. They say the liberal elite. Hasan seni öldüreceklermiş. Geçmiş olsun, dikkat et kendine. Sağ ol kardeş. Turkish guy goes, Hasan, they're going to kill you. Good luck. Be careful. Thanks, man. Bannon, Sam High was profound. He cut right to the chase. Unvarnished is hard for some people, but we are in an empathy crisis because we lack adult supervision. To set things right, it starts with massive investigation by the authorities.
Sam Hyde, it was very profound what he had to say. He cut right to the chase.
Like, there's so many different, there are so many different versions of like what's going on right now. One of my favorites is like, you know, Groyper's Titty 1488, an account named Groyper's Titty 1488 being like, this was my moment of radicalization. It's like, bitch, you've been a neo-Nazi for like a decade. The fuck do you mean this was your moment of radicalization? You can't radicalize further. Your name is Groyper's Titty 1488. You have a fucking lolicon anime avatar. You already are a pedophile Nazi. The fuck do you mean this was your moment of radicalization? No, your moment of radicalization was way lamer, okay? It was like Gamergate because the tits got small on a video game. That's what radicalized you, bitch. Don't even fucking act like it was this very moment. We know, okay? And then the other ones are the people who are just like, Sam Hyde cried. We have to do, you guys made Sam Hyde cry. Like there was another one. There's this fucking, oh my God. I can't say, especially because like the media environment is very heated right now. Tensions are high. So I can't say what I truly feel about some of these fucking people that I see that are like, You made Sam Hyde cry. What comes next is gonna shock you. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Who gives a fuck that he cried? Why am I supposed to take a pedophile, neo-Nazi, and a goddamn hack to boot, whose career imploded because he was so predisposed with being a fucking Nazi? Why am I supposed to care that he cried? Who gives a shit? Why do you give a shit? Sam Hyde went on a tirade and tweeted Kamala and Zoran calling them the N-word with a hard R because they were giving their condolences about Charlie Kirk. No, I know. I saw that too. God, he's so funny. He's such a based comedian, dude. It's just...
It was unvarnished. And I know it's a little hard for people, but right now we don't, the empathy crisis.
Yes, he does. He just looks like Trotsky. I can't unsee it. I don't know. I guess it's deliberate, but yes, he looks like fat Trotsky.
Going to continue because we need to have an adult supervision. We've got a crisis of that, and we need to set things right. And we're going to set things right. And the way to start that is a massive investigation by the authorities on something that's real. And remember, not to treat this is not just a single murder case. It's far deeper than that. And you can already see what's coming up. And that's why I'm so glad that they got the guy asking the question. Maybe he had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying, if you took all the Charlie questions and everything that they've been asked all the times about this and added them all up, it's got to be 1,000,000,000 to 1 that would be the exact questions being asked when he shot allegedly by the lover of, the quote-unquote roommate and romantic interest of a dude who's transitioning to a girl, quote-unquote transitioning.
Those who say, describe the Republican Party, 47% describe it as corrupt, 40% describe it as extreme, 38% out of touch, 37% intolerant, 32% evil, 27% principled, 25% optimistic, 22% weak, 19% trustworthy, 19% compassionate, 15% pragmatic, 4% woke. Who the fuck thinks the Republican Party is woke? What do you mean? What more do you want?
As if to mock the Holy Spirit any more that you possibly could. So to turn this into a broader investigation, a deeper investigation, and all we need is to get, designate Antifa.
This is what
and
this is what fucking Sam Hyde looks like, bro. Just like, I mean, much fatter, much uglier version of Leon Trotsky. No, that's not the KFC guy.
Trans-Tifa or the Tran-Tifa, whatever the subset of this, domestic terrorist organizations.
Yeah,
right? And then start what you can do then on financing, what you can do.
So funny seeing Sam Hyde try to be intimidating when he's not gonna make it to the next presidential election before a colossal stroke hits from the worst case of steroids abuse I've ever seen. It's the worst kind too, because it's like, if you're gonna do steroids, you might as well not look like shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, fix your fucking diet. All right. Fix your diet, fix your workout. If you're going to fucking do steroids and take out like a decade from the top of your life, you can't look like that, man. You have to look better. It's unacceptable. Exactly. Look at this. They're going to do an autopsy on Sam Hyde's deformed elephant heart when he dies in 12 months. And put it in a museum of medical science as a case study of what happens when you dump vibes-based mega dosages of Tren and HGH into the body of a fat, ugly podcaster without exercise. They're gonna make Pillsbury croissant dough out of him when the skin slows off his putrid ogre body in heaping sheets. Yeah, Leon Trensky. It just, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you do so many fucking steroids and that's how you look. He talks like Sam Sulek, which, by the way, Sam Sulek is the GOAT. But he doesn't look like Sam Sulek. How the fuck did this happen? He's taken as many heroic doses as Sam Sulek has taken, but he looks like this. So you did it for no fucking reason. Have you ever done steroids? No, but one day. Yeah, maybe he was doing them ironically. Yeah, dude. Just, edgy humor. Edgy humor motherfuckers, dude. Edgy humor motherfuckers when the president's favorite podcaster gets killed. Oh my God. Oh, you done did it. No more edgy humor. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I think that's the worst offense is that, like, if you're going to fucking call yourself a comedian at any point in your life, you have to be funny. If you're just like a constantly angry, unfunny crank, then, that's the greatest offense.
On people that assist them, politicians that assist them. Also, maybe you go in a 5 or 6 block area or 10 block square area in Portland and help the poor working class people there every night and declare martial law there and clean up that mess.
Gross. The day you do Trent, I'm gifting 3,000 subs. I probably will never do Trent. At most, if I get blood work done. If I actually started noticing my testosterone levels decreasing, I would most likely do like TRT. Like a good amount, Just one cycle, bro? Nah. I'm too worried. Great. Ezra has followed up his column on how Kirk's bigotry and McCarthyism were doing politics the right way by podcasting with Ben Shapiro, where he fails to challenge Shapiro's genocide support and gives an empathetic hearing of Shapiro's fascistic Lions and Scavengers book. I'm not saying don't fucking platform Ben Shapiro, okay? It's just, these things are going to happen. But if you're going to do it, make it an honest conversation. 99% of guys calling for a new civil war.
The political divide is too big. We must split the country in half. Civil war is on the horizon. Sadly, this is in our near future, and we must stand and fight. Hashtag not a bot. Hey man, are you?
Who are you?
I'm the DoorDash guy.
Oh, awesome.
I want to make sure I got your order right. Panda Express, rice and double orange chicken, crumble cookie, Starbucks.
The Panda, it's half rice, half chow mein.
Was that specified in the order?
Yeah, I specified pretty clearly.
Okay, yeah, no, it's half chow mein.
Wait, the whole thing? Or just...
No, it's like 50% orange chicken, 25% rice, 25% chow mein.
Good.
And then the grocery order, blueberry Pop-Tarts. They didn't have any strawberry.
Did you check?
Yeah.
Because they always have strawberry. That's like their most popular flavor.
Yeah, they were out today.
Did you ask the people who work there?
And then the Fruit Loops, 2% milk, frozen hash browns, Tylenol, and baby wipes.
Okay, you can just leave it on the floor or something.
Hey man, so you didn't put a tip in the app?
What?
You gotta tip people.
No, I did. I will double check after you leave. That's crazy.
Okay. In the words of General George S. Patton.
To this day, I really don't know what this guy's project is. He appears on my timeline from time to time. He's just funny. You said I'm not saying don't platform Sharpie, but I'm saying don't platform Ezra Klein. Okay, dude. You fucking promoter of murder and violence. I'm going to get back to Ta-Nehisi Coates in a second. But it is pretty funny, like I said, that Sam Hyde guys are like, you're a fucking promoter of murder and violence. Sam Hyde's fans. Because, like, once again, he tried to fucking maintain some shred of relevance by doing a fake bit where he would go, I'm going to kill you, Hassan Piker. That was it, in your home in Los Angeles. Like, that was it. That was the bit, which was very funny. It was a very funny bit. I really liked it. He said those exact words? Yes. I know. It sounds stupid, but not only, Israel style humor. The most Israeli comic out there, Sam Hyde, deeply unfunny and can only be just racist. The reason why I'm bringing that up is not because, like, he was actually going to kill me and I was like shaking in my boots or whatever. The reason why I think it's funny is that these guys that did that for years and still continue to do so, as a matter of fact, are the very same people who are like, how dare you make jokes? How dare you? This is not a time for jokes. You know? You are being so violent. I guess that chatter was referring to one of the last Elon retweets. Oh, he's still retweeting me? I thought he was going after Destiny now. They did zero research on him. Far left streamer. Now he's banned.
And the far left is acting like Charlie had it coming.
If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive...
God, these people are so dumb. Dude. It's awesome, though, because now they got like one scalp in their minds. They got one scalp. So then they're like, oh, finally, like we got one. Okay, maybe they'll quiet down. You know what I mean?
Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear.
That guy's name's Destiny, and he just learned his fate. He's fired and banned from making any more money.
It literally says kick right here, you fucking idiot. It says kick right there, dumb fuck. I wonder why. I wonder why he's on kick and not on. Anyway, we shouldn't even tell him. No, he got banned. Twitch is taking these concerns and they are running with those concerns. And by that, I mean, they banned him so hard. They banned him before he even said those things on Twitter.
On his site. You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when you go to events? CNN is defending this guy.
We can't punish people for disagreeing with us. We can't punish people for being jerks and celebrating the death of someone. That's not illegal.
It's pretty funny that Jesse Waters, the day after Charlie Kirk's assassination, or like hours after Charlie Kirk's assassination, was like, it's war. We have to start physically apprehending people. Like it's war. We have to take it to the left. We have to do something to the left, right? Like immediately after. And then he's like, wow, I can't believe these guys are saying such violent things on the Democrat Party side, on the extreme left.
Illegal, and that shouldn't be who we are.
She's right. It's not illegal to say Charlie deserved to die and you're glad he did. They have a right to say that, but we have a right to fire you.
I genuinely can't believe. This is a separate clip. They're not defending him specifically. I know, of course they're not defending him. But it is pretty funny that these guys are so... It is funny that these guys are so stupid and so susceptible to misinformation that even when this dude turns around and trolls people by being like, oh no, I got banned, by showing the actual time that he got banned, which was many years ago at this point, They're like, hell yeah, we got one.
You can't walk into the office and say you're into homicide. You can't work at CNN and tweet, I'm comfortable with cold-blooded murder.
What do you mean? Dog. A prominent anchor on your network, Brian Kilmeade, quite literally said that about homeless people, which includes, of course, homeless veterans as well. A group of homeless people that you guys love to fucking avoid talking about until you want to talk about how much money we're spending on immigrants or some shit. Okay? He just straight up said, we should kill homeless people. Like, not even, like, that's it. That's what he said. He said we should straight up kill homeless people, dude. Okay? That is crazy. Also, speaking of which, 13 people hurt in 2 mass shootings at the Minneapolis homeless encampments on the same day, apparently. Okay? At least 13 people have been wounded, 5 critically, in 2 shootings that erupted over a span of 12 hours at homeless encampments in Minneapolis, with the mayor saying he shouldn't be surprised if they are connected. He wouldn't be surprised if they're connected. The shootings on Monday marked the 4th and 5th mass shootings to occur in Minneapolis over the past 3 weeks, including one on August 27th at Annunciation. Fuck, I can't even read anymore. Annunciation Catholic school that left 2 children dead and 21 people injured. Yeah, here's what Brian Kilmeade said. This guy.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this?
I like that he also clarified, like, if people don't know what involuntary euthanasia means, look at his face, bro. Wait.
Has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something.
Yep. He went, yeah, and then stop. Look, please, look at his reaction. Look at his fucking reaction.
Or something.
Yeah.
Lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Yeah. Yeah, Brian Kilmeade came out.
Morning, we were discussing. Right. I would say this. We're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina, wake up.
Yeah, we're not voting for the right people. We should be voting for the people who will kill the homeless. I can't. This is so funny. Yeah, no, he apologized. He did. He had to apologize. Of course he had to apologize. We are so far removed from like accountability or anything like that, especially on the conservative side. Like, it is unironically seen as like a major freedom that you have if you are right wing, you know?
The murder of Irina Zaruska in Charlotte, North Carolina. And how to stop these kinds of attacks by homeless, mentally ill assailants, including institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion.
Man, remember when you got banned for Medicare fraud? Imagine if you said anything near this, but you know the right is never violent. I know. This doesn't mean that, like, those of us on the left should get to say stuff like this in general. We can't get away with it, and we shouldn't say it anyway, okay? But, like, understand that this is how it works. Like, there is no... I know I farm the hypocrisy points all the fucking time, because unfortunately, dullard-ass normies actually respond to that, especially those in the fucking margins. And it's certainly a weapon that the Republicans have wielded for a very long time. But The reality of the matter is these guys don't give a fuck. Yeah, they're hypocritical. Like, they don't care. They're just lying. They're stupid. They're lying. They're hateful. It is what it is, you know? It's just, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to do. Like, what do you do when half of the two major parties in this country, like one half of the entire political system, is just operating on lies and hysteria? You know, the never violent right. What is
number of
this?
people got shot at a homeless encampment just off of Lake Street earlier.
Yeah, we just covered it. Yeah. Libs think hypocrisy is like a poison debuff. Yeah.
More people need to be killed.
Anyway, that's funny that, like, again, Jesse Waters, only a couple days after being like, we have to do war to the left, is like, wow, I can't believe how intolerant these libtards are.
Speech is free, but you're not free from the consequences. If you're glad Charlie's dead and thought he had it coming, I'm supposed to sit next to you in the break room? You're going to teach my kid at school or serve in government? And I'm supposed to just say, free speech. You're advertising that you're a maniac and that you have no decency, compassion, or humanity.
I mean, like, low key, that's how I feel about being around Republicans who fucking celebrate deaths of not just like one person, but entire swaths of the population. That's what it feels like if you're fucking anti-Zionist, if you're anti-Israel, and you're surrounded by these people who are just like you're surrounded by these people who are looking at all that death and destruction and going, that's awesome. We want more of it. And you should shut the fuck up. But once again, I always say, like, this goes back to how violence is perceived by the masses. If it's institutions, if it's institutional violence, if it's systemic violence, if it's the violence of the state, it's not considered violence by the masses. So as long as the government doing it, right, you can maybe get mad at the process, right? Oh, wow, like, we're bombing this country. Oh, you didn't get proper clearance or permission from Congress. You know, at most, that's the anger and resentment people have. I remember this when we were talking about bombing Yemen, which is a rite of passage for every fucking American president, okay? And like, even in the Signal Gate, the main point of contention for everybody was how big of a security failure this was, that drunk ass Pete Hegseth had brought in the editor of The Atlantic into the group chat when he was talking about fucking how they're going to be bombing Yemen. And that was the major point of contention. No one was like saying, hey, why the fuck are we bombing a sovereign country? Can someone explain that to me? Like, that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty unacceptable. Why are we doing that? And that to me is indicative of the way that we see state violence, right? Another glaring example of that, like the societal reflection on violence, who gets to do it, who gets to be the recipient of it, and how non-state actors are those who are considered violent, was when Benjamin Netanyahu went on Fox News and just sat there and was like, the type of violence that seeks to silence dissent is one that I'm all too familiar with. And I was like, the fuck do you mean? You've killed every journalist in Gaza, motherfucker. You're a war criminal. You're doing the Holocaust. And you just sit there and you go, oh, I can't believe like the violence that took out Charlie Kirk. It's coming in my direction too. The very fact that people's immediate response to that isn't like, says you? Really? You're fucking modern day Adolf Hitler. What the fuck do you mean? Is that asymmetry, is the lack of reflection from the broader society, from the masses, on who gets to do violence. And this is precisely the reason why right-wingers can get away with coming across as not violent, because they simply want more of the things that are happening. If the systems themselves are inherently violent to those who are working poor, to homeless people, to black people, brown people, undocumented people, trans people, gay people, and you just keep demanding more of that, right? Then technically you're not making a major call to arms. You're just saying, I want more of the thing that already happens. And that's it. That's how these guys can get away. That's how these guys can get away with making these sorts of statements while simultaneously broader society does not understand exactly how violent this shit is. Or at least those in the margins don't understand exactly how violent the things that Republicans are demanding truly are. Obviously, if you're black, and when you hear someone like Charlie Kirk be like, you know, police brutality is necessary because black people are violent and doing something, you know, something along those lines. When Charlie Kirk relitigates the same exact fucking racist tropes that have impacted black Americans, he can get away with saying that. Black people understand it's violent, but the broad majority does not. They just think, what do you mean? He's just saying it like it is. What, do you not want police? Do you want people to just like keep doing rapes and whatnot? And it becomes this like endeavor to have to explain to people, you know? And in the process of that explainer, they turn around and they say, oh God, you're the real divisive guy. You're being quite divisive, sir. Why are you calling out my racism? Why are you trying to describe my fucking racism? And I will say, while I've always tried to understand this, I would say that in my professional career, until these past 2 years, I never truly got how fucking enraging it is to constantly have to explain a position with the knowledge in your mind that the broad majorities of society are not going to see you as a full fucking human being. They're always going to have that implicit bias. Until the Islamophobia kicked into fucking high gear with the whole Israel stuff. I always thought I understood it, but I never truly understood it. Okay? I never truly understood, even though I empathize with it and I obviously defended these groups, the fucking unimaginable frustration of having to constantly fucking eat it with the full knowledge that people that are watching, people that are listening, onlookers, maybe even loved ones, right? People that you thought were allies and friends will never fucking understand. They just won't, especially if they're, you know, let's be real, white men. You can try to understand it, and there's no problem with like not fully being able to comprehend it. I certainly did it fully comprehended for many, many years, okay? Because I'm a white passing dude. I'm a white guy. I'm 6'4". I am traditionally attractive by Western standards. So like when I was advocating for trans people, or when I was advocating for black people, when I was advocating for undocumented migrants, like there was always a level of security that I had, or a not being directly in the targeted group, the dehumanization. I just didn't, you know, I never experienced what it's like fully, because I didn't live here post 9/11. Remember, I only came here in 2000. Well, I guess I technically came here. I mean, I came here post 9/11, but like I missed the most heated moments, right? I came here in 2009. And even when I was experiencing it, it didn't feel that bad. And I overlooked it. But it is so fucking frustrating that I know for a fact, for example, that there is a decent percentage of the population that will never, ever on this issue, on the issue of Israel, on the issue that they have bracketed off as like a Muslim issue, right? There are a fuck ton of people who will just never listen to what I have to say. It's also part of the reason why I value Jewish allies, white allies in this stuff. Because those people can make a larger impact. You know? No U.S. outlets reporting this. U.S. lawmakers from 50 states plant trees in city raided by Hamas on October 7. Each tree becomes a symbol of the love and land for the profound connection that unites us, KKL JNF World Chairwoman Ifat Ovadia Lusky said. On Tuesday, September 16th, a huge group of 250 American state legislators gathered in southern Israel for a unique ceremony. 250? 250? Flags fluttered in the breeze from Hawaii to Arizona, Idaho to Montana. Seeing elected officials from all 50 U.S. states planting trees together in our country. Each tree becomes a symbol of the love for the land and of the profound connection that unites us. Oh my God, they're dabbing on us, bro. They are dabbing on us. They are fucking dabbing. They're fucking putting their nuts on our foreheads, dude. That is crazy. That is crazy, brother. A delegation of 250 U.S. state legislators in Israel attended 50 states, one Israel. 50 states, one Israel. Yeah. I mean, how do I sit around and fucking and be like, no, you don't understand. The dynamic between Israel and America is not the way that like people like Nick Fuentes present it as. It's just, you're fucking stupid. They're just doing. If sometimes it feels like they're just doing this on purpose, right? Like it just. Israel's doing what the ROC never was able to accomplish. Okay? They got their maps over there. You know how like the Kuomintang had the maps of Greater China that expanded all the way to like Mongolia, and they were like, we're the real China and one day we will return. Israel's doing that to America. Okay? Israel's like, we are the Taiwan, and we actually Greater Israel as a project, it turns out, wasn't just expanding to its immediate neighbors. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Dude, I'm an average white guy from Idaho. Okay? I see Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens clips on my timeline. Okay? I'm already kind of right-wing. And I see them being like, this is Zog, Zionist occupied government. This is fucking Israel owns America. Okay? I see videos like that. And I go, maybe that's not the case. Let me see this other guy, this Hassan guy. Oh, well, they're calling him a terrorist, but let me take a look at what he has to say. Okay? And then they listen to what I have to say, and then they see this, it's over. They're never going to trust me. They're going to be like, okay, dude, shut the fuck up. That's a much easier fucking argument to present. That's it. That's it. In the heat of genocide, the United Nations are like, Israel's doing a genocide. And American state legislators are like, oh, this is our time to shine. Like, let's go over there and genuflect. What the fuck do I say to this? What do I say to this, man? Sound on. U.S. Democrat and Republican lawmakers are serenaded with Somewhere Over the Rainbow in all 50 states, one Israel delegation in.
Over the rainbow, blue birds fly. These birds fly.
So that's 250 out of 7,386 state legislators, or about 3% of all U.S. state legislators in one country. Dog. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, man. Like, come on. I mean, having 5 at this stage is insane, okay? You got majorities in this country being like, Israel's doing a genocide. Overwhelming majorities being like, stop sending them weapons. What the fuck is going on? And then they were able to pluck 2 or even more